know that the committee was, the executive committee was not going to do that.
I understand what they were saying. I felt like, man, these people are on the right. They're for, the right things for the Constitution and so forth. But the thing that I'm confused about is that there was a working relationship, it's my understanding, with the people down south. When we went to the state convention, there normally was, 2 participants from their area that were serving on various committees and 3 from our county. And then I guess every biennium it switched. There'd be 3 from them and 2 from us. And it seems like this last one, because I received a letter from people from down there saying, hey, we're concerned. We had a gentleman's agreement. You made this commitment to us, and now we're being told that we're not going to be serving on any committees. Why should we even bother going? And my heart felt for them because I know they're working hard down there, and they got a tough road to hoe down there. And so with that being said, I understand people make gentlemen's agreements and make a statement and make, even me, man, I can't keep my word all the time either, man. I struggle with that as well. So I'd rather listen to my precinct who says keep it as simple as possible with as much accountability as possible. So I don't know how we do that, but if the state is saying, hey, here's a good guideline that's been used for, I don't know, decades, or I assume decades.
No.
Not the county chairman's been.
Oh, okay, that's something new.
Been updated within 4 years.
Okay, but I mean, is it something new though to
Ongoing
the
thing.
whole political scene, or is it something that they?
It's not new, but it was revised.
Okay, so it's something they've been providing. Yeah, so I'm leaning towards following what the state guidelines would be and keeping it as simple as possible. So that's where I'm leaning because of what I just shared with you, those reasons.
Any other comments?
I don't think I could have said it better.
Well, actually, Tom, the bylaws are pretty much covered between state statute and Robert's Rules of Order. So what we're doing here needs to be simplistic because it's already spelled out. So by state statute and by Robert's Rules of Order, we basically wouldn't even have to have a set of bylaws. Lots of counties don't do it because they just refer to the state election and Robert's rules. And the reason, like at the state level, that the parliamentarian is not mentioned because they hire the parliamentarian through the SRC. That's a paid position. Has to be a certified parliamentarian. So obviously they don't put it in their bylaws because they hire somebody. But I think simplicity and getting something out to everyone that we're on the same page is what's important now.
Is there a motion?
Anybody want to make it? I'll make it. I move that the committee consider adopting these state recommended bylaws as the bylaws of Nueces County. Do I have a second?
Great. And what was the motion again?
That we adopt the state recommended bylaws
My state recommended, what do you mean?
of the county chairman's handbook. Right.
The county chair manual provided by this, I guess the state gives it to you?
Yes.
Is that how-
State party.
The state party. You forget we're in a party.
State got nothing to do with it.
One very end.
Yes.
I'm not trying to interrupt. That's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any debate? Hearing no debate, we'll vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we're working off the draft copy of the state and county chairman's manual.
Do we need to go through each article, or what do we need to do at this time, Tom?
that we need to go through each article just as we did with the other documents.
I'm sorry to interrupt, since y'all just, forgive me again. Disapprove these things, that was on the old.
Yes.
So those are no good.
No good anymore.
You're out of order, I'm sorry.
You can have. I've been out of order my whole life. I'm just trying to understand what they're doing. It's hard to
I
hear
understood.
from you, okay?
I understand.
Okay, Article 1, name, Section 1. The name of the organization shall be the Nueces County Republican Executive Committee, hereinafter referred to as the Executive Committee. Does anybody have any discussion on this section? Okay. Article 2, purpose. The purpose of the Executive Committee shall be to establish general policy of the Republican Party in the county, subject to direction of the biennial county senatorial district convention. As a point of information, no. Okay, no. Section B, to represent the Republican Party in this state, in this county, state, and nation, articulating the party's candidates. C, to cooperate in carrying out programs initiated by the Republican Party of Texas, including but not limited to, number 1, conducting a Republican primary in as many election precincts within the county as practicable, but at a minimum having a voting location in each county commissioner's precinct. And 2, organizing a coordinated effort including get out the vote preceding each general election to publicize the party's candidates. Does anybody have any comments or recommendations for change of that article?
I have a question on
Yes.
B, and I never quite understood what that meant. To represent the Republican Party of this county, state, and nation, articulating the party's candidates. I don't believe that's the responsibility of the party. Each candidate articulates their own, what they're going to do, why they're going to do it. So I have trouble with us saying that the party's going to articulate. We're going to support the candidates, but I don't know that we're going to articulate. You know, that could get into somebody saying something that the candidate doesn't even believe in if we use the party platform or something. So that word articulate bothers me.
So what do you recommend?
I just think that we represent the Republican Party of the county, state, and nation, and support the party's candidates.
That makes sense. So I'm going to motion that we go ahead and adopt amending B, striking out articulating, and substituting with supporting.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Section C, or letter C of Section 1, to cooperate in carrying out programs initiated by the Republican Party of Texas, including but not limited to conducting a Republican primary in as many election precincts within the county as practicable, but at a minimum having a voting location in each county commissioner's precinct. And 2, organizing a coordinated effort including get out the vote preceding each general election to publicize the party's candidates. Is there any discussion about this? Okay. Article 2, Section 2. The Executive Committee is charged with the responsibility of observing all laws of the state of Texas and these United States in fulfilling the purposes stated in this article.
Man.
Imagine that.
Fulfilling all the law.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this section? Okay. Article 3, members. Section 1, the voting members of the Executive Committee when conducting official business required by the Texas Election Code shall be the county chairman and the precinct chairman. Officers and committee chairmen who are not precinct chairmen may serve as ex officio non-voting members of the Executive Committee. Is there any discussion about Section 1? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to Section 2. To qualify to hold the office of precinct chairman, a person must be a qualified voter residing within the bounds of the entity represented and cannot be a holder of elected public office at the county, state, or federal level or candidate for such office. Is there any discussion on Section 2? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to Section 3. The term of office shall be for 2 years, commencing on the 20th day after the runoff primary election day, as provided in Section 171.022C of the Texas Election Code. Is there any discussion about this section? Hearing none, we'll move to Section 4. Any vacancy in the office of county chairman or precinct chairman shall be filled by the Executive Committee. A majority of the total membership of the Executive Committee must participate in filling a vacancy, and the person selected must receive a majority of the votes cast of those members participating in the election, as provided by Section 171.024A of the Texas Election Code, Section 171.024C for exception. Okay, is there any discussion on this section? Hearing none, we'll move to Article 4. Officers, Section 1. Officers of the Executive Committee shall be the county chairman, county vice chairman, treasurer, and secretary. The chairman shall appoint the treasurer immediately upon assuming office. The county vice chairman shall be appointed by the county chairman, and in no case shall the office of vice chairman be vacant more than 90 days. The secretary shall be elected by the Executive Committee following commencement of term of office. Is there any discussion of Section 1? Hearing none, we'll move to Section 2. The term of office of the officers shall be concurrent with that of the Executive Committee, except in the event of a vacancy in the office of county chairman, at which time the appointed officers shall serve only until election of a new county chairman. Is there any discussion on Section 2?
Doesn't the state statute require that the elected secretary be the person in the interim until
Yes,
the election is out?
that's correct.
Is that referenced in 171.025? Is it, because Section 3 makes it in accordance with the provision, vacancy of the, I don't know.
But it doesn't move to the vice chair. It's not necessarily a
Well,
precinct chair.
Do you want me to read you 025?
Please.
Yeah.
If a vacancy occurs in the office of county chair, the secretary of the county executive committee shall call a meeting for the purpose of filling the vacancy. If a committee member files with the secretary a written request for a meeting to fill the vacancy, the secretary shall call the meeting to convene not later than the 20th day after the request. If the committee does not have the secretary, or if after receiving a written request the secretary fails to call the meeting, the